very well, especially playing towards Azar. So hoping to see more of that. This early Renekton is kind of indication for us.
Yeah, definitely. And this draft is sort of forming into quite the similar draft in game number 3. I like this coming from Team Secret. Why do you have to fix that something that's not broken? And of course, Team Secret, even with this Vi pick, they can still pivot to possibly Tatsuri still on the Yasuo because James is back on the Rakan and basically supplying the knockups without the Gragas in the draft. But this is the new flavor into the SBTC draft, which is the Twisted Fate.
Twisted Fate coming in for Julie. I mean, this is a little bit of a detour away from what we've seen from him generally. He's willing to play a little bit more aggressively. Wow, right here, going in with Twisted Fate. Okay, I quite like this. Pick composition, you have the Darius, you have the Thresh. Now you make sure that the Twisted Fate as an absolute pick-off with this really strong mid lane pickup.
Yeah, I can imagine being again, Akeno being roaming around with a Thresh. Gold card, death sentence into the big stun followed up by the Riven, perhaps in the jungle. So I can imagine as long as, you know, the AD carry has space at the bottom portion of the map, I think it's doable.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we just talked about the mid lane. We talked about that Suri. He is bringing out that Assassin champion. So I believe Team Secret does mean business over here. They do want that comeback. They don't want to go down to the lower bracket, but neither does SBTC Esports and the Vietnamese squad. They only need one more point to close this. Can Team Secret hold on? We'll find out. Casters, over to you guys.
TJ, do you smell what I'm smelling here? I think Team Secret might just be able to reverse sweep this one, but they do have changes in.
What does that smell like, Contra?
It smells like great cookies out there, if you really do wonder.
Right. Some good baking.
And
because we're baking up a game 5. I don't know, Contra. I think I disagree with you, to be honest. I'm not a giant fan of... Okay, we'll pay attention to this mid-fight. I'll stop talking if big hits come out. But I'm not a giant fan of Tatsuri on the Diana. I much prefer Tatsuri on characters that I think have a little bit more in-fight damage potential. Whereas Diana is very much about landing big moonfalls, and if you don't land big moonfalls, you lose. Having said that, broad strokes, this game is very similar to the way the previous games have played out. SBTC have an even stronger spike during the early game, now with Julie pulling out this Twisted Fate. There's going to be a moment towards the early mid-game where he hits level 5, where this Twisted Fate can be in all the side lanes and kind of duo ganks with TF. And if that mid-jungle duo comes online for SBTC, they should just be able to shut this game down very quickly.
Boy.
My lord.
Look at that play. Look at the death sentence. It connects onto Chewy, but they'll be able to get some good spacing, all thanks to James. And with that one final minute, SBTC will still be able to get out of that scot-free.
Why? It works. The big reason you go for a play like that is to zone Chewy off of wave. And he doesn't get any farm. That entire minion wave. Oh, gold card.
Oh.
Okay. That entire minion wave dies to the turret there. So SBTC cheat Chewy out of a lot of gold through some really remarkably aggressive play.
Yeah, I absolutely do love this whole setup. And Julie will have so much more global presence as well on this Twisted Fate. Now TF is going to be looking for a great flank. Now having the full jump on top of James. He gets taken out for first blood.
Chewy survives, so it's not as bad as it could have been. He survived very narrowly thanks to some heroic intervention from James, who's been really good all series long. And that'll keep Team Secret in this. Nothing that's happened so far is devastating. But you can see SBTC, unlike they did during the last series, kind of just starting to pull away in terms of gold. Kind of just starting to build that gap. They're taking Team Secret very seriously, and they're shoving Team Secret off of waves. They're pressing Team Secret back in mid lane. They're taking every little gold advantage they can, and it's adding up very functionally.
That's true, and it's going to be very difficult if Trevor doesn't really respond all too well with a counter gank of his own. And you just look at TF, now he's pretty much slightly ahead. But getting into the middle of the game here, you'll see a huge power spike coming for SBTC Esports as soon as the Wild Aegis is getting set up. Speaking of a setup right here, TF is back at it again. Now the ward spots him out. I guess that's a good call to just call off that pressure.
Yeah. It's a good flag that you bring up. Wow, Kirill just spotted Trevor with that Void Seeker. It's a good thing that you flag out Trevor not showing up during the early game, because that is what's made this series very difficult for Team Secret so far, as SBTC so reliably generating gold leads during the early and mid game, and Team Secret just having to play from behind in the final 10 minutes of the game over and over and over again. The last game was a pretty clean win for Team Secret because for the first time that series, they had a gold lead coming into the Dragon fights, coming into the Rift Herald fight. Here we go with these first objectives coming up. SBTC resetting on the map. And guess who's at a gold deficit? It's Team Secret. They're behind yet again.
That's right, and they shouldn't really allow too much
junglers
room for SBTC to leverage on. And TF has been able to shove out the Vi just to secure the skull for himself.
Yeah, I love to see this. SBTC are so greedy. This is an example of one of the things that makes them the best team in the world. They're locking down both objectives right now. They're not handshaking into a trade. They know that they're more powerful right now, and so they're stepping up and contesting that top side, and they're controlling the bottom side. I should also clarify, this is one of the things I think makes them the best team in the world. I think they're the best team in the world. We'll find out, you know, that's what the Horizon Cup is for.
That's true.
We'll see.
I'll be looking forward to that as well. And you just look at SBTC, they can still feel a front-to-back comp if they really want to, and if they want to go full send into the team plus, you can have Kirill diving in with the Kill Instinct. Now they're onto the Herald, but what is Team Secret's about to do right here, right now, as they will nosedive into the pit? This is where the assault battery comes right in, and the quickness will be able to find you. That's a good knockup coming from the Rakan, while there is SBTC members falling flat. Unero gets ignited, but will still survive while the go-kart comes right through, and Azar, he secures a kill, bringing down Julie.
Chewie does such a good job in that team fight, and Kirill finds almost nothing. In fact, his entire Acathian Rain gets eaten up by the wave there. The only kill he gets is onto Chewie. And a massive team fight win for Team Secret keeps them in this series, as they're now going to have a decent amount of gold on the board, and also that Rift Herald still in the bank, ready to be spent. Here's SBTC trying to stabilize and take away this dragon as recompense.
And this is going to be pretty hard for James as well to set up because he doesn't have quickness. Now it's going to be pretty low, but SBTC, they still secure the Drake. Well, they will have the Riven here to chunk them all down. Unero looking for the dunk, and that's Yuri. He's all alone. He will have flashed away. Go-kart connects. That's a kill coming over to Jolie. Now, Team Secret tries to corner Aquino. He may not be able to find his way out, but TF is coming right back. Go-kart now connects. Azar, he finds the exit, while James just been able to find that exit point with a dash.
What a save from James. He's been playing so cleanly this entire tournament, and this series is no exception, as he keeps Team Secret alive in a dangerous fight, where TF's coming in to sweep them like he has so many times before. It's James who interrupts the play, slows things down, and gets Team Secret out alive for an even trade, which again, you might be like, man, I would like Team Secret to get more. They've got a late game composition. So every time they trade even, every time the trades are dead centered, they're coming out on top. They're winning.
That's right. And now we're looking at the gold plate coming in for Chewie. Now, they have to just ensure that Chewie remains into a really good safe distance in order to just keep giving a lot of all these poke damage. And all these great setups, you just look at James, you're really securing those openings for Team Secret to be able to hop onto SBTC. He just have to keep doing it, and unfortunately in that last team fight he didn't have the ult. Maybe that would have changed the tides of the battle. Chewie,
that you brought up alongside him, has just been playing incredibly well as well. Every time we see Chewie land a big chain of corruption, land a big arrow from the back of the fight, it's very hard to get consistent damage out of Varus, because all of your damage is split between very few arrows. You can only fire like 4 or 5 arrows in a team fight compared to, you know, Kirill pumping out auto attacks the entire time. But Shui's so good at finding maximum value from them.
Oh, here comes the stun, and Azara gets pelted with all the damage output. Unero tries to go in for the dunk.
That's
Azar
clean.
survives, and he goes on a rampage.
That's Mr. Clean. Put him on a sponge and scrub the kitchen countertop. Trevor shows up. That is perfect. They managed to take a turret and a kill. And again, it's not about Team Secret earning an early lead. It's about Team Secret keeping it even with a late game composition.
Man, it's not going to be all too squeaky clean for now. And we have Trevor pretty much locked up, but he still has the flash. Here comes Kirill as well. And with another save, Thomas keeping him alive, but not for far too long. Kirill will be able to get the Captain Rain. Now, the rest of SBTC still looking for a pick, but the death sentence does not connect. Meanwhile, bottom side.
Yeah, Tatsuri's just working away. Julie will step up here, aided by the Lantern, in for the fight.
Oh, TF pretty low, and he dodges it, and that's a quick Lantern coming from Aquino in order to keep TF still remaining safe. Here comes the box as well. Wow. And you just look at the damage coming from Kirill. It's insane. And look at the knockup once again. Team Secret have no damage output in this team fight. They may need to let this turret go, but they will have SBTC backing up.
And all of those plays are made possible by Arkano, who's able to hover at the back of the SBTC team composition and pump out support, throw in the lanterns, land the hooks, and make it so hard for Team Secret to fight on even terms. And as a result, Team Secret, despite playing the fight beautifully, have got to kind of throw down this Rift Herald for very little value in the middle of the map, and they're behind in gold. Goodbye, Rift Herald. Wave and you'll miss it.
Yeah, and I guess that he's only going to stay for a little short moment longer as SBTC doesn't want it to crash over onto the turret. Now, Hamis, he's looking for this dive, but he's not going to be able to connect. This is going to be huge for SBTC. Now, the rest of SBTC will have problems where Tatsuri is in the middle of it all, and this is where the gold card being brought right in, coming from Julie as well. And SBTC, they cannot continue even if they want to. He uses the gate just to get back in the middle lane to clear off the wave. Team Secret with good enough pressure. It's still even for both sides.
What a fight. Team Secret get just the absolute worst start to it with Hamas going down and getting absolutely nothing for his death. And yet, somehow, Tatsuri is able to weave his way into the backlines and finish off the 2 kills. And I talked about this earlier in the day when we were looking at a different Varus composition. Whenever you have a Varus, you're relying on somebody to finish off the targets that he knocks low, because the only thing the Varus can do is throw and poke from range. It's going to be very difficult to finish those low HP characters. So you need somebody to get into the backlines and to shut down the people that are on 1 HP. And Tatsuri is doing that today. Watch how these team fights play out as this mid turret comes under threat.
And Aquino, as much as he lends the depth set, this is not going to be any sort of kill potential for SBTC. They will go on the quick reset. Now, going into this matchup here, it's only 3,000 difference, but I think that Team Secret right now, they definitely has managed all these macro control much better than the past few matches.
You know, Team Secret are keeping this pretty even. They're definitely not out of this game. They're still in this game. It's not as good, obviously, as game number 3. But they can come back into this. What you're looking for is you're looking for a major item spike from Tatsuri. He's just completed Crystal and Reflector, which is going to make him a little bit beefier, but Tatsuri's still a little bit behind in damage.
Quickness already being expanded. This is going to be a really good save coming from SBTC, knowing that there's no major ultimate to be used by Team Secret. Now, TF forces a flash from Chewie as well. This is looking to be pretty bleak if there's going to be full commitment from this side of SBTC, but I think they're happy with that.
Watch how there's always a lantern from Arkano whenever somebody's going for a dive. There's always a lantern for them to hop on. I genuinely think the 2 MVPs are probably the 2 supports this series.
Assault Battery going all the way, finding Kirill at the back. He will be able to turn golden for a tad bit. Now, gold card lands onto Trevor as the box comes right in. it's going to pull Tatsuri back. He gets caught out. This is not looking all too good. Julie now goes in with a gold card as well. And James, once again, securing a good knockup just to buy some space. SBTC gets blown up by Tatsuri himself. And this is an ace for Team Secret. They can go for Baron.
Tatsuri wins the front of the fight. Chewy hangs round the backside, and through their powers combined, Team Secret stabilize a dangerous mid-game fight. And as we reach the late game, their composition has come online. They are going to win a dangerous mid-fight. They are going to turn it into a Baron take, and it is entirely possible, Contra, that we go all the way to Game 5 in this series.
And it doesn't matter if Chewy goes down. So long as they get this Baron, that team fight, we have to take a look at it again. It was one of the most beautiful fights that we've seen from Team Secret.
Watch this from Unaro. So Unaro from SBTC on this Darius, just a really cool thing. He cuts into the middle of the fight and splits Chewy off from the rest of the team. But Azur and Chewy just play together in a 2v1. They just group up, force Unaro away, and that means that Unaro can't seem fight, while Chewy can step forward and deal damage. Chewy can be that artillery from the backlines. Kirol tries to make a play, but Tatsuri's had the space to back off and find the backline kills while Chewy steps up and cleans up the bottom half of the fight. Really well managed by Azur and Chewy, really well played by Team Secret.
And you just look at this composition that Team Secret has pulled up with, you have great pressure coming in from all fronts. It's either Azar, Tatsuri, or even Treba to go in with all those pressure. And if they get any good picks, especially with a Moonfall into 5, that is something that SBTC will need to just tap out from. But in that last fight, we saw at least Julie was throwing really good gold cards. It's just that they were forced into an awkward choke point, and SBTC burned out all these cooldowns that they have, and they just have to submit to that.
Yeah, they spent all of their cooldowns onto Hamas, onto Azur, and yes, onto Tatsuri, but Tatsuri managed to get away. And then they were left in a team fight where they didn't have any more tools to get onto the backline, and Chewy was alive and thriving, and he's got so much damage at this point in the game, that just added up to a pretty clean win. There we go again.
So that really expended. Here comes the box now. Team Secret in an awkward position, and that's where the Naxaguti has already been expended. Now Tatsuri is in the middle of all 4 members of the SBTC.
Chewy.
It's going to look pretty hard for him, but look at Azar! He's tearing everybody apart! He chokes them all down. Killer Instinct now being pulled out. It's Jolie there. It's the rest of Team Secret. They will once again ace out SBTC.
And it starts so dangerous for Team Secret, but who is alive again in the backlines? It's Chewy, just throwing out the damage, and who steps up to close the fight? It's Azur again, easing up SBTC on the Renekton, and that is going to be an inhibitor, maybe the game, maybe we go to Game 5 right here, as Team Secret are stepping up versus SBTC, and they've opened up the base, they've got the super minions. This is their game to lose.
TJ, oh, what did I tell you from the start of it all? I smell it, and now the smell is getting stronger and stronger.
The cookies are baking. I smell it too, Contra.
Look at this lead. It's 5,000 of the difference.
I'm looking at it, Contra.
And there is such a high hope for the entirety of the Philippines region here to book their ticket to face off against Baram if they could just keep on with this momentum. Now here comes Tribodel. He walks in onto Unaro. Unaro will not be able to take that lantern. They stand on top of it, and here comes the quickness. They're going for the chase, and like a deer in the headlight, it might just be them crossing over. Well, they will have to just fall right back. SBTC managing to navigate out of that.
Team Secret, you're kidding me. They're just turning onto the Baron. They're going to bait this Baron play. They're going to sit right behind the Baron. So the Destiny is force battle check because they used the Twisted Fate ultimate. SBTC know that Team Secret aren't actually starting the Baron, and they find a gold card onto Trevor, but can't do anything with it. I want to flag something that's maybe worrying for Team Secret as they're going to go in for this fight. That was twice in a row that Tatsuri didn't find anything with his ultimate. In the first dragon fight, he messed it up, and there on the second dragon fight, he messed it up. Tatsuri's got ult again, but he has to find value, otherwise these fights entirely fall upon Chewy and Azur.
This grand entrance right across, and that is where Hamis cuts over the back, and Trevor now is kind of out of position. He uses assault boundary just to escape, and this is one of the perfect connections that we have seen coming from the Vi, as they'll only be able to seek out one member off of SBTC, but the pressure is on.
It finds so much value there. That was actually one of the best plays Trevor's done all tournament. Because he gets in between Yanaro and the rest of the team, and he forces everyone else to back away, leaving Yanaro out to dry. Now, normally, Yanaro would survive a disgustingly long time, but he already spent his Gargoyle Stone Plate when he was caught out earlier down by the Dragon, so he was very easy to chew through for Team Secret, and because of that, they now have a 4v5 on the map, and Team Secret are going to turn onto the Baron. This is relatively safe. Here come SBTC to see if they can do anything.
Destiny activated, but he's way too far to even channel right in. And immediately, Julie, he gets cut off. This is huge for Team Secret. Now they're running right in for the Gauntlet, and the Assault and Barry will find Carol. This is the target that they wanted, and that's where Julie, he will dominate. Lo and behold, Team Secret coming right into the doors, and they might actually shut it upon SBTC. Here comes the Moonfall, and Team Secret will chunk down SBTC.
We're going to Game 5.
We're going in for Game 5.
I don't believe it, Contra.